Hey guys, this is Nikki.
This is Sam.
Welcome back to So What? What's Next?
I spent the bag on the bundle. Turn around and take a flip and make a double. Listen, baby, with me you ain't never gotta struggle. I'm in the game 650, catch a triple double. Watch it tumble, tumble, watch it tumble. Tumbling, tumbling, tumbling. This is coming and keep on tumbling. Watch it tumble, tumble, watch it tumble. Tumbling, tumbling, tumbling. This is coming and keep on tumbling.
Hey Sam, how are you?
I am great, Nikki. How are you doing today? Are you getting ready for Valentine's Day? You stretching, getting ready, drinking water?
I am hydrating. I am hydrating. I am doing my yoga. I am doing my Kegels. I am making sure that this is going to be an amazing Valentine's Day weekend. You know, I am inspired by some of the things that I've been seeing and hearing from my friends. And I'm like, you know what? If my friends are being blessed in the neighborhood, the blessing won't pass me by. I'm in the same neighborhood, right? It can't
right.
jump over me, right?
That's right. Praise that queen.
No. Man, no. It's so good to connect with you. I know that last week we had some content we put out, so we have some really, really good shows that we hope that everyone will love and that everyone will be able to definitely take away from. So again, if you have not already done this, please like, subscribe to our different channels, from YouTube to Spotify to Apple, SoundCloud, and whatever what other platforms that are out there. Jump on that and subscribe to So What? What's Next? We would greatly appreciate that.
And always leave a comment. Leave a comment on every platform. If you just, you know what? If you're a dude, you know, I believe in planting seeds. So you probably should put like a "Hey, Miss Nikki" under every comment. That's what I would do. You know what I'm saying? Plant seeds.
I don't know why you trying to flood my DMs. I don't know what you're doing here, Sam. But I'm gonna let God work through you. But yes, please leave a comment. Please don't leave no negative comments. Don't be a hater. But yeah, we encourage your positive feedback. But speaking of positivity, we are still in Black History Month. And in honor of Black History Month, we want to throw out some, moments in Black histories, or some figures in Black history that make this month worth celebrating. So Sam, who you got this week?
Well, in the honor of the Super Bowl, I got the first Black quarterback to ever win a Super Bowl. My guy, Doug Williams from Grambling State.
All right now.
Hey, my guy became a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Went on to become I think he was a GM for Washington for a while. Coached at Grambling State. Man, Doug is the man. Doug was the man. Absolutely. Love Doug. Hey, first Black quarterback to win a Super Bowl. Now, hey, half the NFL quarterbacks right now are Black. You know what I'm saying? It's amazing. And at one time, they wouldn't even let them play that position.
And now they won't even let them coach.
Well, hey. Progress, Nikki. Look at Mike McDaniels. He's coaching.
Mike McDaniel. Okay, so can I say one thing about that before I jump into my Black history figure? I promise.
Go ahead.
I know I'm so tangent. I am extremely tangential and verbose, but please understand. I was going on social media and I was like, oh, he identifies as biracial. I'm like, I need to see some family pictures. I need to see some genealogy. Like, I'm like, I just need to see some proof. I need to see the one drop. Who provided the one drop in your family?
Right.
So I went on social media. He doesn't have any, I don't think he's on IG. I couldn't really find anything on Twitter. And somebody must have been going down this same rabbit hole as me. And this morning, follow my homeboy, Sir Dibby Dukes, on Twitter. Dibby hit me up and was like, Nikki, here you go. And he sends me this picture of Mike McDaniel, mom and dad, at their wedding, and his dad is Black and has tons of Black siblings.
Okay.
And his mother actually looks kind of biracial. She looks like she may be mixed with something. And I was like, shut me down, Mike McDaniels. You are biracial, and we will acknowledge you as such. So, happy Black History Month to you, Coach. So,
but what's funny though, the real trick of knowing if you're Black or if you're white is when the police pull you over. if he
You
doesn't
know
get
what, Sam?
afraid,
I am
if
not.
he doesn't get a little afraid when the police pull him over, I'm still gonna question his blackness. And
You
something
know, I
else,
mean, because there's people, even in this day and age, there are still people that pass, right? There are
right?
still,
Pass. There it is.
African
There it is.
Americans that are very fair or faint of skin who still
Mhm.
pass or can pass as being Caucasian. So, I mean, I follow your point. I follow your logic there.
But
But
one thing about it, I want to say this: Mike McDaniel being black or being white actually wouldn't matter at all if they would just hire more
mhm.
black coaches. That's all I got to say.
It would not. It would not have. You wouldn't have to worry about checking the box on a diversity hire if you just intentionally did it or hired the best and qualified candidates, which happen to be some African American coaches as well. But
Right.
NFL is going to NFL, bless their hearts.
Right.
So this week, my figure is going to be someone who we should honor and cherish every day. He's provided one of the most tasty snacks that we love and that we'll be eating a lot of this weekend, being that it is Valentine's Day and Super Bowl weekend. But we are going to acknowledge Mr. George Crumb, the inventor of potato chips.
Wow.
George Crumb was an African American chef. He was actually born George Speck, but because he was a chef, and a lot of people, and when I say people, I mean Caucasians would not acknowledge or recognize his name. They called him Crumb, so he changed his name from George Speck to George Crumb. And he was a chef in New York, and he ended up frying some potatoes. There was this particular customer who wanted some very, very well done potatoes. He fried them. The customer hated it, said they were still too soft. George Crumb then takes these fried potatoes, fries them a little bit harder, sprinkles them with salt, brings them back to the gentleman, and literally the guy fell in love with them. And that was how potato chips were invented. He had some other signature dishes, but we must give Mr. Speck and or Mr. Crumb his roses, because he surely did provide us with the origin of potato chips. And I'm glad that potato chips actually have a good origin story, because we all know that the potato is that girl. I think the potato has been voted the top vegetable for like 10 years in a row, if I'm not mistaken.
So much you can do with a potato.
So much you can do with the potato, the versatility. I mean, we love potatoes. And Mr. Speck, we thank you for your contribution to our stomachs as well as society.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. That's great.
I hope you guys learned something about that, because I was actually surprised. My kid had to tell me that, a black man invented potato chips. And I was like, it's so on brand.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
so on brand.
So you go with that, and then you got Famous Amos cookies.
Yes, a black man invented Famous Amos cookies as well, right?
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
have to, from a culinary standpoint, we have done a lot to contribute to, our overall consumption of food. I appreciate it. What was the show? Wasn't it High on the Hog that was on Netflix that kind of documented some of the culinary things that are the exemplary culinary items that African Americans have contributed to this country? Actually worldwide, if I'm not mistaken, globally.
right.
Yeah, we got to come back to that. We got to come back and watch that, because I think, we got to give it some due diligence. But, we started off the show with some positivity with recognizing Black History moments, but now we have to shift because, while we recognize Black History moments, we're finding that there are people out there that continue to use this one word that we ask that we take ownership of, and that we've asked for others to not say it. It seems to keep coming up, right?
Right.
Alluding to the whole Joe Rogan situation. Joe Rogan has had to come on and apologize for multiple things now. I think he's almost sorry. I mean, he has to be tired of saying "I'm sorry" at this point, right?
But okay,
because he had to apologize. Number
but
one,
has he said I'm sorry? I don't think he said I'm sorry. I think he said he needs to be more responsible with the language that he uses. I don't think he said I'm sorry. I think he said I need to be more I think he used the word responsible.
So you're right, because I think what happened was he had to apologize. He actually did have to say I'm sorry, because
Okay.
there were artists, like we discussed last week, there were artists who were, asking for their content to be removed
Mhm.
from Spotify because of his, insensitivity to COVID and spreading misinformation. So
Mhm.
he had to apologize for that. And then this week, they unearthed almost 70 plus episodes where he has dropped the N-word multiple times. And it's not just, N-word in affectionate ways, it's N-word
Right.
with a hard ER, and saying it and actually provoking or, asking his guests to say it as well, right? Like they're
Right.
having this whole dialogue and he's encouraging his guests to use it as well. But Joe
Right.
Rogan, there's this like 2-minute episodes in which Spotify has shared that they've removed those episodes. And he's issued a statement. I won't say apology, but he's issued a statement.
Uh-huh.
I think the most shocking thing, I'm never shocked about hearing certain people use the N-word, right?
Right.
I think the shocking part about it is the fact that this content is out there. People know about it. And
It's always been there.
he continues to get tons of sponsorships, tons of deals, signed this record-breaking deal with Spotify, and all of this is out there. Like, it's not a secret, it's not being hidden. And anytime somebody offers you X amount of dollars, especially $100 million for exclusive rights to your content, they know what's in your content.
Mhm.
They know what's in your content. And the fact that Spotify, in my mind, they hired someone to say, hey, you got to listen to these episodes. I need you to do an immediate scrub right now of social media, immediate
Mhm.
scrub of all his episodes, and we have to pull those down. Instead of just holding people accountable for their words, right? Like, I've never seen so many people defend someone for using a slur. I
Mm.
have never in my life seen so many people defending someone that they don't know
Right.
for using a slur, because if someone uses a slur for another race or another
Yeah.
culture, right? It's
Right.
immediately met with resistance. But you said the N-word. Oh, you know what? Let's forgive him because you're taking it out of context. I don't know how many ways you can take the N-word out of context.
Well, I think what's weird. So Joe Rogan is actually a very smart person, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because what he does
Is he smart? Is he
no, he's
smart?
no, he's smart because the way he was able to get away with the N-word for so long is because Joe Rogan does his thing where he's always asking questions. You know what I'm saying? He's always asking questions. I'm not saying these things, but I'm curious. Right? This is how he frames discussions to say the things that he want to say, right? I'm not saying that the COVID vaccine isn't real, but I'm asking, why do we have to use just this vaccine? Why can't we use these other things, right? So with the N-word conversation with him, it's always been about, why is the N-word forbidden, but these other slurs not forbidden? And that's how he's been able to, I think, get away with saying the N-word all this time. And another reason I think he's able to get away with it is because black people actually don't listen to Joe Rogan like that, right? And
You
and I
hit the nail on the head.
right
And if we do listen to Joe Rogan, we listen when he has black guests.
when it's clips, right? We see the clips of
Right.
like a Jamie Foxx, clips of these people
Or
on there,
Tony Rock, or
right?
when
But we don't
we
actually listen to him. We don't listen to Joe. Joe
no,
Rogan's not appointment podcasting for black people, right?
right.
But he's become this lightning rod for these incels, I want to call them, right? These people that want to go into these dark corners and say the things that they can't say out loud, but Joe Rogan says these things and he gets away with it, and they go to that corner with Joe. And my biggest thing, I've always said this: if you put up a white person's group text, it's gonna read like the 1850s, okay?
And we have examples, right? We have
Right.
a mutual friend.
Right. So if you go to
we
it's
have
there,
a mutual
right?
friend that exposed that, right?
Right. It's dark, right? It's some dark shit in those group texts with white people, right? And I think the problem with my thing has always been this: I know white people say the N-word. I know this. I know this to be factual. They say the N-word.
Right.
Stop telling black people to accept that you're saying the N-word and it's okay as a part of freedom of speech. Stop doing that.
Right. Because freedom of speech is not freedom of accountability, right?
Right.
And that's the thing, because if you say any of these other slurs to affect other ethnic groups or other marginalized groups, it's not acceptable, right? So you don't want us to accept this one slur, but the N-word is okay.
Right.
Right.
But these people want to be able to say all of these things, right? They want to be able to whatever I say should be able to go, right? But this is my biggest problem with this whole freedom of speech thing. Y'all have actually arrested rappers for lyrics. Y'all have convicted rappers for lyrics in songs and put them in prison. So you're actually not freedom. There is actually no freedom of real speech. Everything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. Right. This has been factual, right? So
or in the public in public court, right?
In public opinion, right?
Right.
So I had no problem with NDRE coming out and saying, damn the COVID situation. Because I think the problem, I think the biggest problem right here we having is there's two groups of white people, right? You got the liberal group, you got the conservative group, right? And these groups are fighting within each other, right? And black people, we stand outside of these groups. And we pick and choose the things that we care about as they fight about certain things, right? Like when it comes to transgenders competing in sports, some black people say, hey, that makes sense. They shouldn't be competing in these sports, da, da, da. But then you got the other groups that said, well, he needs to be canceled because he's saying the N-word, but the real reason it matters because of COVID, right? And it's COVID, the COVID message. Well, and then a lot of black people say, well, yeah, okay. But to us, it's the N-word. We only care about you saying this one word. We only care about you.
Why do they want to say it? Why do they want to say it so bad? Like, we ask you not to say one word. Like, I feel like you and I have this conversation every 4 to 5 months, right?
Right.
We ask for one word to be omitted from your language, from your vernacular. We ask for one word to not be mentioned, to not be said. And you can't do it. And I need to know, why do you want to say it so bad? And what joy do you get out of it, right? Like, I always think about Black culture and how Black culture moves the needle, whether it's music, whether it's art, whether it's fashion, whether it's hair, whether it's style. Black culture moves the needle. How many times do we go online or on the internet and we see other cultures line dancing, or we see other cultures, wearing our hairstyles or doing the bamboo earrings, or, wearing, I remember when Jabot jeans hit, I'm telling my age a little bit, but I remember seeing others in Jabot jeans, and Jabot jeans, from my knowledge, my exposure was from Louisiana boys. I that's all I saw them in, right? And that was Black culture. And then when I started seeing other people wear them, I was like, oh, okay, cool. But then I was kind of like, but why do you want to wear them? Right. But it's clothes. So I'm not really, as passionate about that. But
the thing is,
with this, go ahead. I'm sorry.
The thing is, their grandparents could say whatever the hell they want to say. That's what this is all about, right? Like, we've learned over the last year and a half, 2 years, with Ruby Bridges, Angela Davis, these people are still alive. We found out that, you know what? Civil rights wasn't that long ago. It wasn't that long ago that Black people was being hung from trees, right? And their grandparents are like, yo, we used to be able to say N-word, N-word, N-word whenever we wanted to. Now y'all can't say it, right? So it's this idea that I can't be my full whiteness in this day and age. And that's really what this is all about. Right?
Why can't I go full racist? But that's the thing, they don't view it as racism.
Under freedom. Why can't I hide this racism under freedom? And that is the whole thing, is we want to hide our racism under freedom. I want your Black ass to accept my racism and shut the hell up. That's what it is. That's all it is. It's point blank simple. And I think the problem is, we as Black people, we kind of look at them like, yo, enough is enough. You know what I'm saying? Go to your white spaces. Like you can go to Fox News and Parler and
There are
Facebook
spaces
groups.
available for
There's
you. There are
spaces
spaces
available for you to go
available.
full races all day long. You can get to go full races in the group chats with your friends. Nobody's actually stopping you from doing that. The FBI hasn't jumped into your house and, you know what I'm saying? They haven't sacked your house for being full races in group chats. They're going to allow you to do that. You just can't, like, you cannot project onto audiences this full racist agenda that it seems to be swelling within this country. You know what I'm saying? And it's not a liberal agenda. It's not a liberal agenda. It's not a plan by the Illuminati. No, it's you and your people that want to be racist. That's all it
Yeah,
is.
I just, I mean, again, I just, my thought process here is, you're saying the quiet part out loud, right?
Right.
And it's one of those things where I know you won't say it in front of me, but what are you saying when I'm not here? And
Right.
that's the thing, right? But I don't, nothing's going to happen to Joe Rogan. Nothing's going to happen. He's going to continue to be on Spotify. He's going to continue to spew, misinformation. He's going to continue to do these things because no one's going to hold him accountable because Spotify has too much money invested in him in order to keep it going. Now, here's one thing that you can do, and I promise we'll pivot off of this topic, but there's one thing that you can do, right? Because artists who stream their music on Spotify get paid pennies. Spotify makes the money, but Spotify uses the money from the music streams to pay the podcasters, right?
Right.
And that's how they're able to offer these asinine deals to celebrities or pseudo celebrities or whatever the case may be. So if we really wanted to impact change, if people took their music off of Spotify, they wouldn't be able to afford to pay these other people. Now, I'm not saying that's what they should do. I'm just saying it's a suggestion. It's a suggestion.
I think that Spotify main concern is that they're going to lose Joe Rogan to like Fox News or
they're going to lose their cash cow, right?
Right. They're going to lose him to some other group that will allow it, that doesn't need black voices, right? Because Spotify, if they're into music, they're into entertainment that's black. You know what I'm saying? Fox News, they can gladly pick up Joe Rogan and say, make him the next Rush Limbaugh, right? They can make him the next Rush Limbaugh tomorrow.
Put him right on TV. Right. Or let him continue to doing what he's doing now, right? And just upload it to different platforms.
Yeah. So Spotify is just in a lose-lose situation. I mean, Joe Rogan's going to win regardless. I mean, he's going to win regardless.
Joe Rogan is going to be fine.
Yeah,
he's going to be fine. Yeah. I want to know who leaked it though, right? Like in my mind, somebody had this big joker in their pocket and they were like, you know what?
So I seen the N-word thing with Joe Rogan years ago.
Okay.
I heard this, like this was maybe about
this 6, is not 7, new 8. To you.
Yeah, this is like years ago. Cause I was like, cause this is when, Louis C.K. When I first started listening to Louis C.K. and he went on this N-word rant one day, and I was like, yo, and Chris Rock was actually sitting there when he was doing this. So I was like, yo, what the hell, Chris Rock? So I was like, what the hell, how many other comedians think they're like, so if you ever notice, Chappelle's kind of tight with Joe Rogan and them guys. And they kind of had this thing where comedians should be able to say what they want to say because it's just art form that we should have this free space to just speak and things like that. But I'd be like, yo, if it involves the N-word being splattered by everybody within the white group, I can't get down with that. So I've been knew about the Joe Rogan and N-word thing. This is
not new news.
Yeah, it wasn't nothing new to me. So, but when everybody started talking about it, I'm like, yo, so I guess everybody's catching up to Joe Rogan and this bullshit.
Yeah.
But he's smart because he hides it under, I'm only asking questions. That's how he hides all this ugly, dirty, disgusting shit. He hides it under, I'm just asking questions. Like, are women, should women just cook? Would the word better they just cooked and cleaned up? Would that make the world better? Because then we could but he's not saying he's misogynistic and sexist, but he's hiding under questions, and he's always done that. And it's just one of those ways he just got away with it. It's weird to me.
Yeah, it weird to me. I just don't think there's ever going to be any He's gonna fail up like his
Yeah.
peers.
Yeah, he'll be fine. He'll be fine.
He'll continue to fail up,
Like I
and
said, Fox
that
News got a perfect space for him that Rush Limbaugh left. He can slide right in there and he would get 100 million viewers, and Fox News will keep propelling right on up to the top where they've been at. As the number one news station, they will continue to do that. So, but just stop telling black people to accept it. That's all I keep saying. Like,
yeah,
stop
don't
telling
tell
us
me
to
how to
accept
feel, right?
it.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Don't tell me how to feel about that use of that word. Like I said, someone obviously had to leak that. So someone from the Rogan camp, or maybe somebody who's no longer affiliated with the Rogan camp, leaked that info. But anyway, while we're talking about leaks,
Yo,
I don't know if you saw this or if you heard about it, but
I did.
apparently,
I saw some ramblings about what you're talking about, but I didn't go check. I didn't want to
yeah,
go
I didn't think
search
you
and
would
see.
go run into the internet to see. But apparently Nelly accidentally uploaded some interesting content, whew, I, there's this video of Nelly being serviced that hit the internet.
Shouts
I
out to
think
the
he
king.
uploaded it to his IG, and then of course people knew he was going to catch it, so they screen recorded it, and now it's everywhere. And that has been the talk today. I think even we briefly discussed, or that it was mentioned on the show, that Nick Cannon had a leak, and I think within the last couple of weeks or so,
Hold
that
on.
had
Hold on.
another
You
leak.
had pause for a second. You said Nick Cannon had a leak.
Yeah, Nick Cannon had his out there too.
So the whole Real Husbands of Housewives are just starved for attention right now. The Real Husbands of Housewives. Remember they had the Real Husbands of
The Real
Atlanta.
Husbands of Hollywood, the Real House Husbands of Hollywood, or
Yeah,
something like
something
that.
like that. All of them just leaking out. They just starved for attention.
So let me tell you something, right? It's just really weird to me how all of this happens, right? And I'm not saying that mistakes don't happen, but I know that there's like a 2 to 3 step process before you add something to go live or to go to your stories or something like that, right? And
Right.
again, we're human, we make mistakes, but do you think some of these leaks are intentional?
I think all leaks are intentional. I think, especially when it comes from somebody that's not really that hot anymore, that's used to being
Mm-hmm.
hot. I just think they're all intentional, man. And to be honest with you, man, sex tapes save careers. I mean, who was
Who
Kim
ever
Kardashian without
thought?
that sex tape?
I remember growing up vividly, you didn't want to be looked at as that person who
Mm-hmm.
was out there, outside, being loose or whatever the case may be. And you also didn't want to be on the Summer Jam screen. You know what I'm saying?
No,
You didn't
no.
want to be that person. And now it's kind of like, no, I want my Summer Jam screen moment. Like, I mean, we got to give it up. I mean, it's Black History Month, but we low-key got to give it up to the Kardashians because they are good for dropping a good leak or a sex tape or something like that and being able to capitalize off of it for
Right.
decades. I think the Kardashians and they also gave us BBLs, but we'll come back to that on another date.
Did they?
But
Well, did they? Did they?
did they? I think they truly. I will say for me, the one point that I can tie back the BBL mania to is Kim Kardashian. That's the one person I can say she literally
They have definitely infiltrated.
influenced a lot of women to get their butt enhanced.
They've definitely
That's
infiltrated the Black culture. They definitely done that.
They definitely appropriated Black culture because there are Black women. You can go to multiple cities in Houston. You can go to multiple cities multiple cities in Texas, multiple cities in Florida, multiple cities in the South, and you're going to see that woman, right? That hourglass
Right.
shape naturally.
Right.
But to be perfectly honest, I feel like Kim in body shaping craze, but again, we will come back to that at another point. Back to the main macro point here is, I agree with you, Sam. A lot of these leaks happen from people who seem to be looking for a reason to get some buzz or to get some attention or to get
Mm-hmm.
some type of propaganda going, right? Like,
Right.
you know, I am never one to shame sex workers. I am never one to shame people who find ways to make money in the sex industry. I just feel that I don't know. You got to follow my logic here. I almost feel like it's disrespect to sex workers, right? Like you're leaking your stuff and you're putting it out there saying it was a mistake. Whereas there are people who are putting time, money, and effort to put out quality content in order to acquire funds and, things of that nature. But I just feel that,
Nikki's like, where's the grease at? Grease this stuff up. Let's get this thing better
you
lighting.
know, I don't think I have enough to cultivate a good following, right? That's not my lane.
Well, I'm just
You
saying
know,
for people that's doing this, you're like, yo, if you're gonna do it right. Grease it up,
I
get the lighting
need
together.
give me some lighting, give me some ambiance, give me some, you know what? Give me some good dialogue, or even better yet, give me some monologue. Like, if you gonna start my engine, let's make sure we get it going. If you're gonna crank it up, let's make sure we see this through to the end. Gotta see it through, my boy. Like, get me from point A to point B. But needless to say,
The baby oil changed the porn game for real.
baby oil, coconut oil, like
It changed the game.
full on productions, man. Give me some scenes, give me some drama, and let's make this some quality content. But so yeah, I feel that this is going to continue until there's something else, right?
Right.
There's going to be continued the accidental leaks and all these other different things happening. But I guess the main thing that I took away from this is that people were not impressed. They either weren't impressed with the girl, with her performance, or they weren't impressed with his equipment.
Right.
So I don't know if Nelly made it this. I don't know if it was a good idea. From what I saw, I was just kind of like, oh, okay. What else is on the timeline? I was not like, oh my God, did y'all see this? Oh my God. It was kind of like, yeah, okay, cool. All right. So what else is going on? That was literally my thought process. Totally.
Because meet out there. Don't ever get your meet out there. It's never good idea.
I think what his goal was, I don't think his goal was necessarily accomplished. Like if you stand Nelly, he gave us some bangers, right? Like Nelly gave us some good stuff. He will forever be remembered for Tip Drill. Like
Tip Drill was classic.
We'll never forget that one, and our Air Force Ones and whatnot. I don't think we'll always have country for Nelly. We'll always recognize him, but I don't think this clip accomplished what he was hoping for.
True.
In my humble opinion. But guys, if you want to go check it out, go ahead and search Nelly. Go ahead and figure out what that's about. You know what, Sam? I'm going to spring another thing on you right quick. Before we wrap it up, NBA All-Star is happening. It is going to be in Cleveland. The All-Star game and the festivities are going to be in Cleveland.
Wow, they're making them go to Cleveland?
They're in Cleveland. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Poor little
yeah. Yeah, poor Tink. There's nothing about Cleveland. There's nothing that would excite me about All-Star in Cleveland, but I do think, it's still a market, right? I personally don't have a reason to go, but my friends are pulling up for some of the festivities because this is their industry, whether it's PR, sports commentating, just networking, whatever the case may be. But what are some of your thoughts about the upcoming All-Star game in Cleveland?
Man, I got to be honest with you, Nikki. I don't know the last time I watched an All-Star game. I have watched the NBA dunk contest. I like watching three-point contests. But these All-Star games, football and basketball, they're just terrible now, man. They are so hard to watch. I can't watch them. I can't sit through them. I just can't do it. What about you? Do you watch them?
I do. I do.
You?
I do. I do. For various reasons. None that I have to disclose here, but I do watch. I do still watch the dunk contest. I do watch the 3-point shootout because Steph is going to be lights out. I do like seeing that. And also that's how I kind of stay up on young talent, right? So I don't take the NBA serious until after All-Star break, right? All the
Right.
stuff that happens before All-Star break is, I feel like teams are working out kinks or they're trying to gel or figure things out. But after All-Star break is when things get serious. I will tell you, I watch a lot of Heat games because, that's my squad and they're number one in the East, even though everyone's trying to tell me they were trash.
Right.
But we'll pick that up on another day. But anywho, yeah, so I like to watch it because I like to see the young talent. I like to see who's coming up. I love Ja Morant. I love, seeing what they're doing in Memphis. I love to see that Boston is suffering. I'm kind of confused on Brooklyn. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know if they're going to trade
It's
James
over.
Harden.
It's over, Nikki.
They brought Kyrie back. I
it's
don't
done.
know. I don't know what's going
It's
on
done.
in Brooklyn there. I don't know what Steve Nash is trying to figure out. I think Dallas is still going to be a beast. I still think Utah is going to have something to say. I know CJ McCollum got traded today, so there's an end of an era in Portland. I don't know what happens there, and if Dame is going to stay loyal and stay out there. The Lakers are trash, which is love. Lakers are trash. The homies told me this season never happened, and I was like, oh no, it's happening. It's happening to us right now. So yeah, I don't have a lot to say about the NBA, but at the All-Star game, we'll check back in.
Yeah, I think the Warriors are gonna win the whole thing this year. I do actually think Milwaukee wasn't some one-time fluke. I think I think they're gonna actually get out of the East again. But it's gonna be tough because I really do think Miami's gonna have something to say about all of this. Because I thought Miami would have beat them last year had they not came off that shortened season. But yeah, I between Milwaukee and the Heat in the East, and I don't think anybody's gonna beat Golden State once they get healthy. I just think once Draymond get healthy, Wiseman, that rotation, what they're gonna do to people in the playoffs, it's a chance Steph might only play 25 minutes going into the playoffs.
Yeah,
and they're gonna be fresh as hell because they're about 9 deep. They're about 9, 10
They have
deep.
a good rotation. They have a good 8-9 man rotation. I don't know.
And
It may be able to 10, but yeah, I think once everyone is healthy, they're definitely going to be at least at 10.
And Miami's
They're going to be able to put two different teams in.
And Miami's about the same way. Miami's about
because Kyle Lowry's back. Jimmy's back. Bam is playing out of his mind right now. Like, it's looking really good. Even though Tyler Hero got snubbed, I think they're going to eventually get to a point where they have to realign how we vote for the NBA All-Star game. Instead of voting by position, you just vote by player.
Yeah, I would like for them to get. Well, don't get me started on media voting. They need to get rid of all media voting. Period. Point blank.
Yeah,
Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I think all media voting for all sports need to go away.
Yeah.
Media vote. Yeah. Speaking of, big sports, Super Bowl weekend is approaching. I think we have our picks. We know that it's Cincinnati and LA. And I think last week we reiterated who we wanted to win. We placing any bets?
No, I never bet on my teams, the teams that I like. I do feel good though. I still feel good about the Rams going into this game. I'm actually becoming less and less concerned as the season go on. I mean, as the days go on.
As time goes on. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm less concerned. I really think this is going to be a blowout. So I'm really preparing myself for. I'm getting cigars ready, getting the drinks ready. I should be in full celebration mode by the third quarter. 5 minutes left. I should be in full like, hey, welcome to the good life.
Yeah. I'm in a space now where I'm hoping that it's a good football game with LA coming out on top, right? Mm-hmm. I do want LA to win. I'm a little nervous about, Cam playing because I want him to, I don't want him to have like a mental block about fumbling and things like that. Right. Joe Burrow seems uber confident in his offensive line. And I just think, I think LA is just watching that Tennessee Titans game, right? And they're just going to figure out different ways to mix it up to get to him because, they're going to knock him down. I think Jamar Chase is going to have a good game. I think Odell, no, I take that back. Cooper Kupp is going to have more yards than Jamar Chase, right? Mm-hmm. I think that goes without saying. I do think they're going to have a double Cooper Kupp, and then that's going to free up Dell and a couple of other people. I am excited to see how McVay adjusts. I know that that has been kind of a up and down thing for him this season, but I'm kind of interested to see how he's going to adjust because
I think
um
every moment in this season for the Rams have led them to this one point where they've been waiting to get at for all season because they've already pushed their chips in the middle of the table, and I think they're just going to unleash.
yeah, they made all the trades. They went, balls to the wall and said, "Hey, we're not trying to win over the next 2 to 3. We want to win this year."
Yeah, right now in
Um
this moment, right now, and I think when you put them in that game, I think we're going to see. I just don't think it's going to be close. I would be surprised if it's close. Yeah, I'll be
mhm.
surprised. I'll be surprised if it's close, but
Yeah.
even if it is close, I still think the Rams going to beat them. But I hope Jamar Chase have a good game. I wouldn't mind seeing it. I wouldn't mind
Yeah,
seeing a good game.
I'm rooting for the game.
So
I'm
I
rooting for
found
the
out that it's called a gritty and not the giddy. That was very upsetting for me because I thought it was the giddy, but it's
So
really
I've
the
seen it
gritty.
both ways. I just don't pronounce it. Because I'm the Virgo in me wants to make sure that if I'm going to say it, that I say it correctly, right?
Yeah,
But
I
I've heard it
understand.
as the giddy and I've heard it as the gritty. In my mind, I'm assuming that some non-black media person thought they heard giddy instead of gritty and started putting it out there.
Yeah, I
Um,
don't know. I don't know. But
I
yeah,
don't know.
man. So this is a great episode, Nikki. Great episode. We've done the financial literacy episode, which had to be out before y'all even hear this. Make sure if you're on YouTube to subscribe. We're gonna keep most of the content on the Listen Up Podcast Network page. So that way you got a one-stop shop. And I think we're gonna do some talking about Snowfall when it comes out. I don't know if I'm trying to secure the guests, but trying to secure the guests on that. But we are gonna talk about Snowfall. That is our show. We love that show.
We
Ozark has been
are.
crazy. Are we ready to talk about Ozark next
Yeah,
episode?
we've given people enough time to binge. We've given you enough time to actually go back to season 1 and binge, to be honest, because season 4, we got the first 7 episodes, and we know we got how many left? Is it like 3 or 4 episodes left, or are they going to do a full 7
It's gonna be
to
another
complete the
7.
season?
It's gonna be
Okay,
7 and 7.
so
So it's supposed to be 14.
if you have not done it already, please make sure you binge Ozark. We will be back on next week talking about that with I'm sorry, we'll be talking about Ozark, and we may also have another upcoming episode with a special guest that Sam has promised. But that's it. Anything else before we get out of here, Sam?
No, man. I appreciate everybody, man. Continue to like the pod. Make sure you share the pod. Make sure you subscribe to the pod. Always put some type of comments, and we out.
All right, Sam. Make sure that you have a good Valentine's Day weekend, friend.
What? I gotta spend.